What's poppin' chat? So, we're going to be talking about these so called federal signal sirens. I'm not going to be rating them, I'm just going to be talking about them. Because, I am very interested in knowing all these sirens. So, starting off with the Model 2 from Federal Sign and Signal. This one looks like a tree, to be honest. Why does it literally look like a Christmas tree to me? But that's not all. Because why did this thing look like it has a hat? It looks like a hat. Now this one, the Model 5, this one, that looks like a hat, that looks like a skirt. But yeah, I'm not familiar with the model sirens from the beginning of Federal Signal, but I do know that there's other companies like Fidel Code and Federal Enterprises that could have been before Federal Signal came later. Well, Federal Signal came out in 1901. So, yeah. That's what I know about the Model 5, but I'm not familiar with these older sirens, but SirenCon has a lot to know about these sirens. The Model 7 literally looks like a tree. I don't know why they decided to make these sirens look like trees or hats, whatever. I don't know what's up with Federal Signal. They create their own sirens. Then the Model 28. I cannot explain, like, what is this? It's a siren, but look, this literally looked like a microphone. I don't have I don't even know what to say. Then the Federal Signal 500. There's other models of the 500. This one kind of looks like a prototype 2001 DC Roundback. We'll get into the Federal Signal 2001s later in the video, but don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as we go throughout this video. But the Federal Signal 500 kind of looks like the 2001 Roundback. Kinda. This could have been the prototype version. Then this one looks like a little satellite. The 500 DHTT. This literally looked like a little satellite in space. Like, what is this? Then the 500 AT, like, it has the round back and it looks like a satellite. I call this one the satellite siren. And then we get into the next World War II sirens, the Federal Sign and Signal SD-10. This one right here, I cannot explain how much the SD-10, like, Fort Worth has Federal Signal SD-10s as their old siren system as other sirens, which we'll get into that later in the videos. But yeah, this one's the SD-10. This one here, I believe Fort Worth have some SD-10s. Yeah, that was their old siren system from the 1960s, was the Federal Signal SD-10s. But then later, and also in 1970 probably. But then in the 80s, they replaced it with brand new other sirens, which we can talk about later in the next video. The STL-10, which kind of looks like the STH-10, but different. Now this one, I don't know. I do not know. I don't know what to say about this, but the STL-10, scary. Then we have the model version STH-10. So yeah, Fort Worth has one of these. Glen Heights also has one of these as well. So if you see any STH-10s that are actually active, I don't know how they can. Well, it's called refurbishment. They bring back the sirens, but some are deactivated. Like, Some sirens from there they still use, even though they're old, but they still work till this day. Then we got a different type of STH-10. This one we call it the Federal Signal 2T22 or 3T22. Some call it the XT22, which I don't know why, but this is the 3T and the 2T. They both have the same sound. If you didn't know, Denton actually has a 3T22 siren. Yes, Denton actually has a 3T22, if you didn't know. So yeah, I didn't know Denton had a 3T22 as their old siren system, but I officially know that now I know the old siren system was one of these. Then we're moving on to this big boy here, the Thunderbeam RSH-10. So the RSH-10, which we referred to as the Thunderbeam, this was before the other Thunder siren came out. This one, the Thunderbeam, which has something inside of that, like a little like movie disc looking thing in there. I don't know what it is, but that's probably what it rotates. This is an omnidirectional siren. But yeah, this siren rotates inside, which I don't know why. But you know, Federal Signal does what it does. And now this one, you're gonna love this next siren I'm gonna talk about. The most famous siren ever from Federal Signal. The Thunderbolt. Now this one here, the siren lovers, they all love Thunderbolt sirens. Starting off with the first model, the 1000, which is single tone. Dallas has a Thunderbolt 1000 siren. Yes, it does. In a few locations, but they're all deactivated. Some are active only at fire stations. Some of them, because siren enthusiasts want to go over there and just see with the siren so bad. So this is the Thunderbolt 1000. Oh, and did I forget to mention Fort Worth also has a Thunderbolt 1000 as well. So yeah, this one here is a single tone. And then they made a dual tone called the Thunderbolt 1000T. Now, siren lovers definitely love the 1000T because of its dual tone sound. Like, Dallas used to have a 1000T. Oh, I don't know where. Whoa, yeah. It was at this one elementary school. Don't know what it's called in Dallas ISD, but there was a 1000T, but it's been moved to a different town or city. I don't know. But to be honest, I wish the 1000T would return to Dallas. But you know, the 1000T is somewhere. Oh, and not to mention, is it Cedar Hill? Yeah, Cedar Hill has a Thunderbolt 1000T, if you didn't know. This is literally amazing. And then we got the famous legendary Thunderbolt 1003, which is used for different signals, like the high-low fire signal and the alternate wail, which is scary. Do not assume it's Siren Head. If I see a Siren Head comment, I'm gonna not report you, but dislike it. But let me tell you, the Thunderbolt 1003, it is absolutely goated. The goated siren ever. Look at that. I mean, it sounds something like a drum-looking thing, like a timpani. That's what it kind of sounds like. But it's like amazing. The Thunderbolt 1003 is the GOAT. Moving on to this next siren. Now, this one, we're going to move on to the electronic sirens. Starting off with the Federal Signal EOWS 115. The EOWS is called the Electric Outdoor Warning System. So this siren here is the prototype version of the 1212. This is we call it the 115. So the 115 had issues. So the controller they use, we call it the Seratone. The Seratone, is that what it's called? Yeah, the Seratone. Yeah, the Seratone Westminster chimes absolutely blessed our hearts with that type of siren. But yeah, there's even other models of the EOWS. Here's the EOWS 408. If you didn't know, Minneapolis, I believe, for their old siren system, they had one of these. I think so, yeah. And then this one, the EOWS 816, I can't tell if this is a fake one or if this is actually for real. Because, yeah. And then we got the famous EOWS 612, which people have been mistaking for the Chicago siren. Chicago never used EOWS 612s. This was from Livonia, Michigan, from Sheldon Park, all because of a one YouTuber named by the name of Siren 1000T and the other, the NP Minnetonka. Yeah, people have been mistaking this siren right here for being the Chicago siren when Chicago's sirens they use, which we'll get later in the video. But yeah, this is what it looks like here. And then we got the newer models. This one we call the modulator. This one, well, modulators, yeah. Chicago has modulators. But people call the modulator Siren Head for literally because one YouTuber by the name of Boogeyman recorded a Chicago tornado siren going off in Alternate Whale June 15th, 2015. And back in August 8th, 2008 is when we first heard the Alternate Whale in 2008. Why did people assume it's Siren Head? It's all because this one YouTuber, Trevor Henderson. But the 1004 I call the baby modulator. It only has 2 speakers. Well, they upgraded to 3 speakers. This one we call the modulator 2008. I saw a video of a modulator 2008 in Campbell County, which is probably somewhere in Newport, Kentucky, that was going off an alternate wheel with that little Ultra Voice. Yeah, they have other controllers like the Ultra Voice, the MC controller, and the MCP controller. Yeah, they have different types of electronic controllers, but the Ultra Voice, bruh, you gotta love the Ultra Voice. And then you can upload the 4 speakers. We got the modulator 3012. Just know, here's a fact. Did you know? Well, some of you may know, some of you may not know, Dallas actually has a modulator. There's a modulator 6024 at the Dallas Baptist University. There's also 2 modulator 6024s at the Dallas Richland College. And then there's a modulator 3012 at the Dart VA Medical Center station on the Blue Line at the VA hospital. To be honest, the sirens they use for their modulators are technically just Ultra Voice. But what if you uploaded to 5 speakers, upgraded to 5? This one's the modulator 4016. Looks like a 4016B, but yeah, you can upgrade to 5 speakers. Now, the modulator 5020, Capel has a modulator, yes. I'm talking about the Capel town in Texas. They have a modulator 5020 and possible 5020B. The controllers they use are a literal Ultra Voice. Some have we call the Thunder mod, because some has been like designed to sound like a Thunderbolt by using some I don't know why they try to make it sound like a Thunderbolt, but yeah, just Federal Signal does what it wants. What if you uploaded 2 literally? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we have the modulator 6024, which has 7 speakers. The reason why I stopped at 5 because I'm not going to finish the sentence because I'm trying to avoid those brain rot kids. But some brain rot kids are actually starting to touch grass and start doing other things now. But some Roblox YouTubers still play that cursed Mocking God brain rot game where you literally steal them. Yeah, they still play that till this day, and it's making me mad because I tried playing it once, I hated it, but I gave it a try. I kinda liked it, but I didn't like the fact that I did not realize it was actually AI slop. So yeah, that was just we just went from sirens to literal Roblox. Okay, now where was we? Right. Okay, we're back. Right, we're back to the original version. So this one's the brand new modulator 8032B. This one here, Weatherford, yeah, they have one of these. So the 8032B, which is the brand new model, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. They have 9 speakers. Yeah, 9 speakers. Literally. I'm pretty sure by 2020, late 2026, they could make a new modulator with 10 speakers. But yeah. Should the EOWS make a return or a comeback somehow? I don't think Federal Signal is going to make another EOWS. Or can they? But anyways, now we've finished the electronic sounds. We're going back to the air raid rotating sirens. This one, the Federal Signal 2001 DC Roundback. This is the first generation of the 2001. So as you see, it has the roundback, and this is what it looked like. It sounded similar to an STH-10, but yeah, some sound familiar. Then the second generation in 1990, they redesigned it to what we call the 2001 DC. But this one has a square version, just square box. So this one we call it the 2001 DC. Literally, honestly, the 2001 DC, like Livonia, Michigan has one of these sirens. It used to, but they upgraded to the newer 2001s, which we'll get later into the video. Chicago has one of these as well. And, like, there's this one town that's, I don't know how to pronounce it, but they have a 2001 DC. There's one in Texas somewhere. Don't know where, but I'm not going to find it because, you know. Then, now they made a third generation siren. The third generation siren, the 2001 SRN, the Super Rotating Network. They had the 2001 DC logo as the third generation. This one right here is the fourth generation. This one here doesn't have a 2001 DC because it's been eliminated permanently. So this one, the fourth generation. Did you know Dallas actually has a 2001 SRN? They have a 2.5 generation, the one off of, I believe it's Oak Cliff. There are a few 2001 SRNs that are located in Dallas. Don't know where. It could be somewhere. But Carrollton actually has one of these sirens, yeah. Carrollton actually has a 2001 SRN. I don't know if this was. I do not know if this was their old siren system. But yeah. This one right here. The fourth generation, literally. I have no words what to say, but the next siren we're going to look at is the 2001 SRNB. As you see, they kept the smaller logos for the early production units. Then the later production units, they upgrade to the giant one. So the 2001 SRNB, there are a few of them in the colony. There are a few that are in Arlington. I believe Arlington has a 2001 SRNB. But yeah, the next siren I'm about to talk about, this one took over Dallas completely in 2010. I introduce you the Federal Signal 2001-130. This loud siren right here literally took over Dallas completely in 2010. They literally replaced all the Thunderbolts with this. This is honestly, well, kind of the loudest siren, but there's one siren that I noticed that was actually the most loudest siren ever. Louder than this one. But when you're ever in traffic or you're on the road and you have the windows down, if you hear this, it's gonna be loud. The 2001-130 took over Richardson as well. They replaced one of the other sirens, which we'll get into the next video. They literally took over Richardson as well. And Carrollton, of course, had to upgrade to one of these. Literally, the 2001-130, honestly, is the most popular 2001 siren in all of Federal Signal. These sirens are not going anywhere. They are never going to get replaced. Because Dallas had some 2001 130s destroyed, but they still got another one somehow. Then the next siren right here, the Federal Signal Equinox. It still looks like the 2001 130, but with a lower tone. And this right here was supposed to be a prototype for a new Federal Signal siren. The Federal Signal 508. This siren right here took over Irving completely. And it also took over Waxahachie, kind of. Oh, let's talk about Nashville. These sirens took over Nashville as well. The colony has one of these as well. Like the 508. Like, this was supposed to be the prototype version. The Equinox should have been the prototype version for the 508. Well, guess what? We got the 508. And then this last siren right here for Federal Signal, Eclipse 8. This siren took over Richardson's UT Dallas College, the UNT. This siren took over Richardson, only for the colleges. But there's another siren that I want to also, that I forgot to mention. The siren that I forgot to mention, they had another version of an electronic siren. We call it the Federal Signal DSA. The models have different speakers. They face different directions, right, left, straight. They face east, west, north, and south. So the DSA, they have different models like the 6x4. The 6x4 literally took over Addison, replacing one of those junks electronic sirens we're going to get to later in these videos. There's a 6x2 that has been replaced. So the DSA 6x2 had a different controller it was not no Ultra Voice, no MC, it was a different one by a different company, which we'll get to later in the video. But yeah, these sirens had different speakers. One was facing west, while the other was facing south. But those sirens have been replaced by this. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we're going to start on the next siren, which starts with the letter A.